Welcome to the American Rambler with your host Paul Grofton here on the Bastion of Free Speech. Okay, I usually try and find articles that other people are not talking about, but this is one that I think needs to be talked about. It needs to be blown up all over the internet. No, this is not a reference to violence. This is a reference to everybody needs to be speaking about this. Okay, we all know the MEtoo movement was weaponized and used as a weapon, and was only used as one-sided. No, I'm not a fan of Cuomo, but I don't think he needs to resign until he's been charged and convicted, or if the Democrat legislature decides to impeach him over this, but I'd much rather him be impeached over the failure of COVID protocols. But we are seeing now the exposure of the left, and I will call out the exposure of the right as well. Time's Up leader resigns after criticism about Cuomo ties. Yes, the Time's Up leader was seen helping Cuomo developing attack strategies towards the so-called victim. I guess we are not supposed to believe all women now, or is it believe some women? Because we have Tara Reid has credible allegations against Biden. And why hasn't Biden resigned? You're going after, Mazie Hirano says, oh man, do something. Where's Mazie now? Why isn't she not telling Cuomo, step down? No, this has everything to do about politics. It has nothing to do about the right thing. So the leader of the Time's Up, the MEtoo era organization founded by Holloway women to fight sexual harassment, resigned under fire Monday for advising Governor Andrew Cuomo's administration behind the scenes in its efforts to discredit one of Cuomo's accusers. Why would you do that unless you had credible allegations? If we could fight it in court, fight it in court. Time's Up said in a tweet that agreed with Roberta Kaplan that stepping down as chair of the group's board of directors was the right and appropriate thing to do. Yes, because you're using this as a political platform. A report issued last week by New York's Attorney General concluded that Cuomo sexually harassed 11 women. The allegations have thrown the Democrat's career into extreme peril, threatening him with the possibility of both impeachment and criminal charge. And I find it funny that now some New York representatives are saying, oh, this is setting a terrible standard for impeachment. The funny thing is, this is a Democrat-controlled assembly. Okay? And this was the same investigation that Cuomo ordered, saying, hey, wait until the investigation comes out, it'll clear me. Then it doesn't clear him. Kaplan, a women's rights advocate who has a law practice of her own, counseled the administration last winter when Cuomo was hit with the first of the harassment allegations leveled by a former economic development advisor, Lindsey Boylan. Yep, it looks like New York's economy is doing really great right now. Both Kaplan and Alfonso David, leader of the Human Rights Campaign, were consulted over a letter the Cuomo administration had drafted attacking Boylan's credibility. Kaplan and David agreed to review the letter. According to the Attorney General's report, Kaplan told the administration former counsel to Cuomo declined to sign the letter, but agreed to contact other people to see if they would. Other advisors, though, said it was a bad idea, and the letter was never widely dismissed. So in other words, those that could have participated were not given this letter. Interesting. Kaplan's role in advising Cuomo's administration stunned sexual assault victims and others. Several past backers of the Time's Up sent an open letter Monday demanding an investigation, charging the organization's leader aligning themselves with abusers at the expense of survivors. Activist Alan Turcos, who organized the letter, said sexual assault victims feel they have been abandoned by poorly advocates who were secretly working for the other side. Yeah, I guess you feel now how the men feel when we go to our bosses and complain about our female bosses harassing us. You hear that, Jackie? In her resignation letter, Kaplan said she had reluctantly come to the conclusion that an active law practice no longer compatible with serving on Time's Up board. She added, unfortunately, recent events had made it clear that even our apparent allies in fight to advance women can turn out to be abusers, a reference to Cuomo's public support of the MEtoo movement, which included his signing a sweeping news protecting in 2019 against sexual harassment. In addition to advising Cuomo administration, Kaplan had more recently done legal work representing Melissa DeRosa, top aide to Cuomo, who resigned after the Attorney General's report portrayed her as playing a central role in the effort to retaliate against Boylan. So, it seems it's all politics, business as usual, and yes, I would call out the same for the Republicans. David, in a statement, said he welcomed that review amid that he called multiple inaccuracies that have been circulating. He said the only learned of the gunner's alleged misconduct from the Attorney General's report. So where have you been the last year? Sticking your head in the sand? I've called for the resignation. Rhea called today, he said, of Cuomo. Kaplan in 2018 co-founded the 2018 Time's Up legal defense movement. Hey, can this legal defense movement be applied to the men? Kaplan also represents writer E. Jean Carroll, who filed a defamation lawsuit against Donald Trump in 2019 related to her claim that the former president raped her. I'm sorry, that's hardly believable. You're only doing that to sell books. Yes, Karen McDougal, E.J. Carroll, and Stormy Daniels. No, I'm sure there's a lot of other women that made themselves available to Trump, and Trump took fine advantage of it. But they decided they did not want to put their political sphere, their self on trial, and just left it at that. Don't forget to check for links below.